everyone, and welcome to Time to Talk with Ty. Today we have LaShana Boose with us, and we are going to roll into some very exciting things. As you all know, the month of March is quickly approaching, and it is the month of women's history. It is the month that we celebrate the women's suffrage movement. And in this area, in upstate New York, we have a great variety of women and men who contributed to that movement. So that is why we have LaShana here today. She's going to talk to us a little bit about, she is running for city council for the Northwest District. Yes. She is one of our faves. She purchased a home with New to You Homes a few years ago. And not only did she purchase a home, she got involved in her community. Yes, and she loves that community, obviously, because she wants to see change in that community. So before we start, I have a few fun facts about the women's suffrage movement. In 1866, Elizabeth Cady Stanton was the first woman to run for the House of Representatives, even though women were not eligible to vote. And in 1872, this was something that I did not know, Victoria Woodhull, she was a stockbroker and a publisher. She ran for president of the United States under the Equal Rights Party. And I think that is, it's astounding because she was running for president in 1872, and we are in the year 2019 still waiting for our first woman president. Yes.
Possibility.
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility.
Yes, I'm really hoping to see that. But we just want to get into talking a little bit to LaShana about her race and what she's looking forward to and what her plan is. What her plan is for this race.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I would say I am very excited and honored to be the designated Democratic candidate for City Council representing the Northwest District. The platform that I really would like to focus on when running for office is really focusing on reducing poverty, fighting to keep jobs in the Rochester area, specifically in the Northwest, and also just creating and ensuring that we have safe streets for all families in all Northwest districts. The Northwest is comprised of neighborhoods that go as far north as Charlotte, and as south as, I would say, an estimate of like 490. Okay. A little bit of West Avenue, Danforth Tower, small pieces in there.
Okay.
As west as Mount Read, and as east as about Lake Avenue. So it's definitely comprised of diverse neighborhoods, but we all definitely need to ensure that we have those issues addressed as far as poverty, safety, and jobs.
And what would you say? What made you? Let's go back a little bit to what made you want to run?
To be honest, I am a political scientist. You know, I guess you can say geek.
It's okay to say geek.
I guess a little
yes.
bit. I enjoy, number one, first and foremost, I enjoy serving my community. I actually just started out volunteering on organizations that had to do with being a mom. So I was on my PTO. I was on this board called Policy Council, which is with Head Start. Yes. So just getting involved and getting to know people who had similar issues that I had, raising children in the Rochester area.
Right.
So that's really what got started, and it grew to Girl Scouts, then grew to volunteering on local campaigns, which then grew to sitting on boards like the Zoning Board of Appeals, other nonprofit boards in the Rochester area.
Okay.
So
that's awesome, because I think sometimes people talk about changes that they want to see made or things that they don't like per se in the community, but they don't really do anything to get involved or do anything to cause any change. They just kind of complain about it. But I feel like when you moved into that area, into the Maplewood area, you know, you saw things, like you said, you got involved in different things and you saw things that you wanted to change and you said, I'm going to do something about it. So that's amazing. And LaShana is a mom, an incredible mom. She has girls.
Oh.
She has all girls. So you guys know that is a lot. It's a lot when they're young and it's a lot when they grow up. Right. And like she said, involved in the Girl Scouts and just, being a great role model for, I believe, for your daughters and other young girls, just getting, especially, being involved in Girl Scouts and taking them different places and kind of showing them different things that they wouldn't normally see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We definitely have a focus on with volunteering with Girl Scouts, we have a focus on a non-traditional type of program. So we are absolutely in the community. We are involved in a number of community service projects and different programs that focus on STEM, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Yes.
So we definitely try to make sure that the girls that we're reaching out to and that we're impacting have a rainbow of options when it comes to what's out there and available for them.
Right. Right. And that's awesome because I think it is so important, especially like when you mentioned STEM, just getting them interested in things that are a little bit outside of what they typically think women should be interested in because, we can do everything. Women's History Month is coming up and oh gosh, you guys have to forgive me now. I'm going to be on this I'm always on women's power, right? But I'm going to be on this whole kick because I just think it's so awesome and so amazing. Just LaShana being here because we talk about women not even having the right to vote or run, but to, like you say, to be the designated candidate and to be so close to actually sitting in that seat and having that voice.
I'm very proud to be in this seat right now because when we talk about women's history, we look at the fact that it took Caucasian women over from 1888 to 1920, that long for them to have the right to vote. And then an additional, 70 years or so after that, we needed the Voting Rights Act of 1965 to get Black women and Black men the right to vote.
Right.
So it's definitely been a struggle. So to sit here today, knowing that just in 1965, we just had the ability, the right to vote, meaning African Americans.
That's right.
It's definitely an honor and a pleasure, and I'm beyond excited to be able to be part of the change in my community.
Right. And what are the things that you're looking forward to the most?
I think the biggest thing I'm looking for when it comes to stepping into this role is being able to provide the Northwest District with a voice that wants to represent all of the people in that district, but also having experience with individuals from a diverse background with people in Northwest neighborhoods. So whether they're in Charlotte, because I've lived in Charlotte, or whether they're in Maplewood, because I currently live in Maplewood. Right. So I definitely have had a chance to interact with people all over the area just to kind of get an understanding of what their needs are. And that's the reason why I have the platform that I have, because those are issues that are affecting us from the north of the district to the south of the district.
Yes.
So.
Yes. And, you did talk a little bit about just being able to change your community. And I think that is something that I think that when you decide to live somewhere, like you said, you lived in Charlotte and now you lived in Maplewood, you can't, once you move there and you actually purchase the home there, you can't say, I don't like this area, I'm not going to do this. You know what I mean? You can't really do that. So I think that is, that's amazing though. Just to get involved and not just to live in a house and to live in the area, which you have to come outside and you have to interact with your neighbors and you actually have to interact with people.
Yes. I love interacting with my neighbors. The kids on the street know me, my neighbors know me. They see me outside with my girls. I walk in the neighborhood. So, all those kind of things are important because those are the things you want to see in your neighborhood. So if I'm not doing it, how can I say, I want to be a part of it, or I want, or even identify changes that are necessary if I'm not able to see the things myself.
Right.
So
right. And we just, like when we started, we were talking a little bit about how Rochester, this area is so important to the women's suffrage movement. And you were sharing a little bit with me before we started that, you've taken a couple tours and you've gone those areas. You want to talk a little bit about the history of women's suffrage here in this area, like the Rochester area, Seneca Falls area?
Okay. Well, in 1888, the Seneca Falls Convention was held right here in New York with Susan B. Anthony and many other women's suffrage leaders leading that forefront for women to get the right to vote, which has been a struggle up until now. We have issues with disenfranchisement. But one of the things I've been able to see and tour and being in this area is, I've taken my Girl Scouts to the Susan B. Anthony house, so they can, see how Susan B. Anthony lived and get an understanding of some of the struggles and challenges she had. We had leaders like Frederick Douglass, which everyone knows the city of Rochester for Frederick Douglass. We actually just recently, yesterday, took some of our Girl Scouts up to the Colored Musicians Club in Buffalo, New York, which was very exciting because that gave us history in regards to music and how it's evolved right here in the Western New York area. We were also able to take a tour of a church that's neighboring the Musicians Club, and we were able to see where slaves were held in the Underground Railroad right here in Western New York. So I'm very excited, and I get excited being able to experience those different places that are right here in our neighborhood. Right here.
And like you said, we have King Street, we can go down King Street. It's really one of those things where if you really took the time to just one day or 1 or 2 days out of the, when it's nice out, I want, this is going to be something that LaShana, we're going to have to tell everybody. When it's nice out, do a little research about Rochester, know your history, know about Rochester, know about the women's suffrage movement, Susan B. Anthony right here, Frederick Douglass, like LaShana said. We have so much history in Rochester. And even if you're not interested, let your children know.
Well, right in Maplewood Park, there's the Kelsey's Landing, which is right on Genesee River, where individuals who are seeking freedom would use that water passage to take them to Canada. So that's right in Maplewood Park.
Yeah.
So we see it every day. We drive past it every single day.
Oh my goodness! Go sledding and don't even not even think about it. Oh my goodness! So that those are really, really amazing things. So now tell us about when we need to be ready, when we need to be voting, when we need to be doing all those things. Tell everybody out there what we need to be doing, LaShana, because they need to be on their P's and Q's.
Okay. Well, New York State has reformed their election laws, so the primary has changed. It is now Tuesday, June 25th, so everyone please get out to vote on Tuesday, June 25th. That's the primary day. I'm hoping you will cast your ballot for me.
Yes, LaShana Boose.
And some other colleagues of mine that I've been working with in the Northwest, specifically Frank Keofetlasi. He's running for 28th Legislative District, Monroe County Legislator. So I'm really excited to be working with him. He's a great kid, great young man, He's very young, but he's been really building up the young folks in the Northwest District to come out and vote, which we know that's something that needs to be done.
Definitely. I actually was a little sad and embarrassed to find out how many young people in my family were not registered to vote.
Send them my way.
I will send them your way. I'm going to make sure I do that because I really was a little... Because like you said, it's only been since 1965 that we've been allowed to vote, and for them to still not take that opportunity, it's a little disheartening. So I'm definitely going to send them your way and make sure that we get them registered this year. I don't want any problems. I don't want any problems. I don't want any problems.
She said,
I don't want no problems. But no, you guys need to definitely vote. It's not something that, and I feel like sometimes people say, I don't care about that, or I don't like either candidate. But if you don't like either candidate and there's really one that you don't like, you're choosing that person if you do not vote. And I really feel like you really need to, I don't want to say this, but you really need to grow up. Y'all know I keep it real on time. Talk with time. You need to grow up. If you're 18, you need to register to vote. If you have not registered to vote, you need to do so. I don't care. Tomorrow is Monday. Tonight you can do it online. I don't care what you do. You need to register to vote. Because we really do. We complain about, like I go back to that, we complain about so many things, especially in Rochester. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of things that we don't have here like the big cities. We say, oh, there's nothing to do. And there are things to do. The things might be different. Mm-hmm. They might not be the things that you're used to, but there are lots of things to do in this community that you don't know about.
Well, that's why I'm so proud of the women's suffrage movement. When you think about the action that was taken, the years that it took to get to 1920, you know, that's something that's so impactful that they just were very determined not to give up. Right. You're talking about in 1913 holding a suffrage march in Washington, D.C., boycotting the inauguration of our president. So if you're really determined to make a change in your community, there's nothing that you won't do. You will not only do your research, but you will develop the relationships that are necessary. You will be at the tables that are necessary to have those conversations to make the change that you want to see in your community. And that's the reason why I sit before you today. Right. I can't say it's acceptable to continue to allow gun violence and all those type of issues plague our communities. You know, the school system and why not just me, but why we are not involved in what's going on. Right. It's definitely just something you have to just be steadfast and say, you know, I want to see change, whether you like it or not. If it's something that you feel is not meeting your standard, you want to stand up and say, you know, I don't agree with that. And I want to be at the table and have a conversation. I want to be a part of what's going to happen, what is going to be the future for not only myself, but my children and my children's children and so forth. So I commend all of the women who were in the suffrage march in 1913, including my sisters, my sorors, of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. But it was definitely a pivotal moment for women and the trajectory in which they will now have options for not only themselves. And we're seeing it now in this coming election for president, where women have there are so many women that I won't name right now.
So many women
who are running for office right now. And despite what some of the media has said about their background and things they're bringing that some may feel don't represent the ideal candidate. It's just the mere fact they have the opportunity to do it. So
and you know, they're going to shine a light. They're going to shine the light on those things that they think will bring those women down. But now, if our fellow males are doing the same thing, I'm just going to keep it real. You know what I mean? They're going to shine a light on those things. But if the men who are running are doing the exact same things, they're not going to feel that those things are equally wrong. But, you know, we have, like you said, it doesn't take away from the fact that those women are doing it, that they are running and that they are in it, just like you. It does not take away from the fact that you're doing it, because nothing, I don't know if y'all know, but women are the strongest thing that ever. What? LaShana, don't get me started. Women are just without us. There, what? Jesus made us. Okay, I'm sorry, but yes, he said that Adam would not be alone. Okay, and he made Eve. Yes, and yes, women are powerful though. Women are amazing. We can be so resilient. You know, like you're running for office, you work, you have children, you have a family, and you still. You know, you're an adjunct at MC. You do all these different things, but then you still have time to do this. It's just amazing. We're different types of creatures.
Yes, we are.
We are different types of creatures.
Yes, we are.
And I'm so proud of you. And I'm so glad that you came here today. I'm so glad that you came here today. I love you to pieces. I love you, love you, love you. Guys, we love LaShana. We love LaShana. Vote for LaShana Boose. She is, okay, just because she's my favorite, but y'all need to vote for her. But no, we're really proud of you, and we're glad that you are immersing yourself in this community and that you want to see change. And it's an amazing thing. And we wish you the best. And anything that we can do to support you, we will.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any last words for the women out there, or rolling into the month of March, or anything about voting you want to share with us before we wrap up?
I would say mark your calendars for June 25th. It's definitely an important date for me, but also mark your calendars and make sure you just stay engaged with this coming election for president.
Yes.
It's definitely going to be a pivotal year for us because anything can happen. Anything can happen. Whatever you want to see change, make sure that you are paying attention to those candidates that are going to represent the things that you want to see.
That's right.
So I just encourage you to stay engaged,
yes,
get involved, and go out and vote.
Go out and vote. Remember that. You heard that here on Time to Talk with Ty. LaShana, thank you so much for coming today. Thank you. Thank you for watching Time to Talk with Ty. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel and my blog at tytime.com. Join me for more amazing guests and topics, and also feel free to comment below about this episode or ideas for upcoming episodes.